Hello and welcome to Halo Forge Epidemic. This is Oakley Hidef and I'm here to bring you a tutorial for building miniatures based off the map Museum of Humanity made by yours truly, Oakley Hidef. So we're going to go through this map, and this map was based off the Halo 3 Belief series when they were trying to promote Halo 3, and they made this whole series of videos that was sort of based on different semi-realistic things. Like they had a museum, obviously this is the one it was based off, with miniatures in it, and it was a museum basically dedicated to the UNSC, to Master Chief, and the fight against the Covenant. So that's basically what I tried to recreate in this whole thing, and that was the inspiration for this whole map. So what I'm going to be using this map to do is kind of introduce you guys to the whole idea of forging in miniature. And so there's a lot of stuff you can do with this, people like Zathurla that we'll be introducing you guys to, and just how to make a bunch of stuff, whether it's aesthetic for aesthetic's sake, or if you want to add these little small details and flourishes to your maps in general, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do, and it's something you can just pick up easily, create, you don't have to play test it, so something cool that you can just show your friends. Over here you can see the big cinematic kind of huge miniature battlefield that I've created, and it's stuff like this that you just throw together, and it really pushes Forge to the limits, which is always what we've been about, is trying to use Forge in different interesting ways. And so that's why I'm going to be spotlighting types of maps like these in the future. So go ahead and leave comments what you think, if you think we should proceed on this, and what you think of just this type of forging in general, because there's definitely a lot for us to delve into, because people have been doing this for a while and there's a lot of great creations out there. So stay tuned briefly where I'll be going through the map. I won't be able to cover everything, so if you have more questions on specific details, just go ahead, post that in the comments below. Otherwise we'll go ahead and give you guys a brief overview. So thank you. So what we're going to do is start off with this piece here, which you guys have already seen plenty of times. This is from the AA gun show, and so if you want to see how to do that, just go ahead and check out that video. Now I'm going to keep moving along the map. Over here for the position of the tanks, that's relatively easy enough, just spawn rocks and then put the tanks on top and make sure the movement looks fluid, make sure it looks like they're crashing up over the rocks or coming down, just to give the sense of movement. Now what we're going to move on is miniatures, which is the main thrust of this video. So over here in the city of New Mombasa, what we have is me taking advantage of the terrain and various forged pieces. So what you want to do when you're building a miniature is make sure you choose a terrain that fits what you want to do, because the natural terrain of Forge World will add a lot and really sell what you're going for. I knew I wanted to build on this patch of land, and so I went with that, and that's what sort of made me go towards the New Mombasa feel. So what you can see is the water here and the canals. So make sure you explore the whole Forge inventory to use everything to your advantage. Here I'll pull out just a small bank piece here that I use just the edge to make a pathway. So that's what you want to do, is make sure you use just the smallest bits of everything. Just a hint, if you want to make buildings, these blocks are actually very nice. As you can see, these are 1x1s. Pull them out and they have a nice stepped look to them on the side. It looks like there's different floors. Maybe add some different colored blocks, 1x1 talls here. So do all sorts of stuff to add variety to your landscape. Over here, to make the cliffs, I had rocks, and then to give a bit more texture, what I did is I put sandbags in there. Then over in the back, to give different variety of roofs, I put small curved pieces. This is a circular ramp small, right over the top of each, just so everything sticks out and is different. Now of course take advantage of the fact that you have a wall here, so this is a glass sail which sticks out much further, but by putting it against the wall I was able to use just a bit of it, which makes it look like this is a much more normal structure. And it's got a lot of intricate details, which makes it awesome. Over here I had the water going up and under, so in order to make it look like there's an underground channel or something like that, or went into the building, I put a teleporter frame. So again, make sure to use all the different forge pieces. Even the smallest bit can help sell your idea. Over in the back, to make the ships, go ahead and show you that. Once you get up close, you can tell that it's just a bunch of capture plates and flag stands. Now from a distance it doesn't seem that way, so what you're going to be doing with this type of miniature thing is playing a lot with the eye, doing a lot of sort of optical illusions. Now to get the beam, this is basically just, as many of you have guessed, a tin cup. So I can go ahead and pull that out for you guys. Buried most of it, sunk it down like that, and then I connected it right here, putting the flag part sticking out. And so by doing that, I made it look like there's a beam coming out, which really adds to the color and the effect of the whole scene. Now we're going to keep moving along for the different scenes. over here in this area, this is really cool. Here again, you can see I use the terrain. Now this is a longer area, and so what I wanted was to have a whole different approach. Whereas the other one was kind of grassy and watery, whereas the other one was all dusty, this one is grassy and hilly. So over here you have a slight sort of inkling of what might be a river over on the side, or the beginning of an ocean or a lake, and over here you have nice rolling hills. And what I wanted to do was take advantage of the rolling hills to put a train. So you can do all kinds of stuff. Just be inventive, be willing to try out new things. So for the train tracks themselves, I just use 5x1 blocks, put them together in parallel, and then sunk them down like this. And the width was relative to the size of the train I was making. So here you can see the train right up here. Again, I've used different pieces. So right here, this is actually, I'll give you a moment to guess. It's a glass sail. So as you can see, I just used a part of it. And the reason I did that is when you sink it down, the front of it has a sloped bit right here, which makes it more like it's the front end of a train. Then over here, I made it the back part, and then in the middle, what would be the compartments is a brace piece. And I changed the color and all that just to give the different effects. So you can play around with color of objects to give more texture, color, more zazz, more detail to whatever you're working on. And then over here, to link them, the underside of a cover piece. So go ahead and explore every single Forge object. You'll find that everything is useful and can be used in different situations. Just like this piece over here, which has it makes a cool tower effect. It's actually just part of a much larger walkway piece. So again, guys, go ahead and try out everything, and you'll find that everything has its own uses, and you can be very, very innovative with what you do. Over here, again, this is a dish, so it's a huge piece that I just sunk down here just to get a small part here that allows it to look like it's a bridge that can open up and down. And so the train on the top rails would be able to go over the train on the bottom rails. You want to add more believability, so the train here is coming out of its tunnel. Go ahead in all your landscapes, add that detail that adds that secondary layer, and just the immersion that you really want. Now, depth of field was pretty important, so what I did was I put stuff in the sky, and you can use weapons for this or flag stands or whatever. So these are just spikers put on fixed, and from a distance they do look like flying vehicles. So it adds a lot more 3D to your terrain, to your little model. And I'm going to keep moving on with the sense of scale and the depth of field. So that's very important in this main diorama here. Now here I used a lot more weapons, and I'll go ahead and show you that up close. So over here is supposed to be the Covenant. So what I did is I merged a bunch of the guns together so that they look like not actual weapons, and from a distance they can be misinterpreted, and that's what I'm going for, as vehicles. Now the cool thing over here that you can see is I was actually able to make scarabs. The way I did that is I used the needle rifles for the legs, tin cups, or not tin cups, sorry, flagpoles as the joints, plasma repeaters all around, and I made the head. And so from a distance, it really sells it as a moving, walking piece in the distance that looks very, very cool. Over there you can see a smaller one. And then over here you can see more of the flying vehicles that I put in the middle ground. Now, the reason I put the flying vehicles is it has this really cool effect. So as you're moving to the side, you can see those in the middle ground are moving a bit, and the ones in the back are hardly moving. So by doing that, you really create a 3D depth of field, where the vehicles are here. These are maybe little phantoms, and this one from a distance looks like a spirit, and then the very back would be the cruisers. Now, you can see these are really far off, and I actually used 2 glass sails. From here, this doesn't look like a vehicle, but you can see in profile and from a distance, it ends up coming out looking just like a frigate or some sort of vehicle. So that's something you want to be mindful when you're building your maps, is just how it looks from a distance. You're trying to trick the human eye. Over here, to pull off debris, you can use capture plates and sort of antenna pieces. Over on the right side, I wanted the human base to be over here. So you got turrets built into the ground and all that, just to give more of an effect. And I buried the turrets to make it look like they're big AA guns, but in miniature. So that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be coming to you with more tutorials on how to make miniature stuff. So I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to check out the other video we have where we show off this map in combination with the audio from the original commercial. So thanks guys, this has been Oakley Hidef with the Halo Forge Epidemic, and I'm signing out. Thank you.